Who we have coming on the channel today? Alicia White. Alicia White. I get it wrong sometimes. She's 35 from Jackson, Mississippi, and been teaching for 12 years. A great interventionist. So here she is right now. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
So tell me a little bit about intervention. Because I didn't have, a lot of people say when I asked them that they didn't have in their school, it probably would call another name, but now it's called an intervention, which is a fancy word. So please elaborate a little bit on that.
So I support as an interventionist here at Van Winkler Early Childhood Center.
Mm-hmm.
It probably was a different name when you was growing up, but it was the same job. So part of my role here as the interventionist, I help younger children that are struggling academically, that need that extra support, either it's academic or behavior-wise or social and emotional-wise. So I kind of just provide that little extra support for them.
And
So
have any children love coming to you just because you provide the extra support for them?
Yeah, because you have to make it fun. Then they think that they just, because sometimes I pull the students out that need extra support.
Right.
So they get to come and work with me one-on-one in a smaller setting, and I focus on a target skill. So when you think about interventionists, we have different layers. So like I said, I work with the kids that need extra support if they're delayed or behind or just need a little extra push. So we work on target. So one thing about interventionists is targeting towards something. By them being young, because all the students I work with are pre-K. I am the only pre-K interventionist in JPS currently right now. It's kind of newly for pre-K because most of the time you think about early, if they're coming in 3 or 4, like why do they need interventionists? Because they are already starting off young, but it's just to get those steps ahead to prepare them for later on. So target. So I'm focusing on one thing. I'm not teaching them a lot of concepts at one time. So right now, my students start on intervention. They start off with letter recognition, being able to recognize the letters. So that's the only thing that we focus on for like ELA. And then for math, we focus on math 1 through 10, like short. That's the only thing I focus on with them on.
Wow.
It's a
To even think about it, that's a lot of you, but at the same time, it's like, do the children catch on quickly when they have your help?
Well, it's not just my help. So part of the process is I work with the teachers. So we have 3 different layers. Part of my job is I'm the MTS coordinator. So I oversee the whole intervention process, a multi-tier support system. So when you think about, we say tier 1, 2, and 3. So when we think about tier 1, we think about universal. This to learn that the students are supposed to get in the classroom from a certified teacher. But it's given to everybody in the classroom. So that's when they main curriculum, like whatever curriculum here is Mystic Beginnings, Building Blocks. That's what they get as a whole group that everybody in the classroom gets. And then when you think about tier 2, that's when they come over to the intervention side. So they just focusing on one thing or 2 targets. It probably ELA or math, whatever area that they struggling in. Where the teachers have to provide support for them. So I help the teachers be able to navigate the support the 2 students who have interviews. So when our students switch over to tier 2, they are in smaller groups. So compared to a large group, it's smaller. So now they get tier 1 whole group, and then in tier 2 it's just like another layer of support. Now I do have students that transition over. Say we did tier 1 whole with the teacher and it didn't work. We went to tier 2 where the teacher had to pull the child out 2 or 3 times out the week and work on that only their target skill, because we want to focus on one thing in ELA, one thing in math, and say that's not working. So then they have to go over to tier 3, and that's when I start pulling them out every day. And then the teacher also still have to meet with their child every day. But I think the most part that the teacher is, because we have to keep up with everything, so we document everything. So each child that comes to me, they all have portfolios I keep up with, and their portfolio goes on with them to the next grade.
Now, I didn't like it when I was in school because I was a little slow now. I was a little slow. I wasn't special ed, but I was a little slow. So, do the children enjoy it? Because I don't know, they don't catch on at a young age that they in the class that they had to keep you being pulled out just because they're not catching on as quick as the other children are or comprehending as better as the other children are. Do any other students catch on, or do they ever say anything about like why I'm gonna keep getting pulled out? Why I can't be around my other classmates? Do they ever catch on to something like that?
So yeah, keep in mind we got 4 and 5 year olds, so they don't. But technically, it be kids that want to come. Like say if I'm pulling them out, or one of the other teachers pull them out, or if they just seen it as they want to come and do the activity too. Like they be like, I want to go with you. I want to go with you. So you got to make it fun. It has to be fun. But I'm not the only one that's pulling them out. So the teachers pull them to the side and work with them. I'm just there to support, and I go in like to observe the teacher, make sure that they are doing it. Because one thing, when they get over to tier 2, they have to. It's mandatory that they give the kids the service that they need. That's the only way we'll know if what we are doing is working. Because if I'm meeting with a child, if the teacher is doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom with their tier 2 students, meeting with the child 3 times a week, just working on their one target, then I should be able to see it in the data on the graph that the child is showing growth. And if the child is not showing growth, I need to know why the child is not showing growth. So I look at, not only do I look at the data, but I also look at the student's attendance. Do the student come to school? Because it might not be a teacher problem. It could be, this child is not there to deal with what they need to get. But I think overall, because at this age, you have to make learning fun for them. So I don't think they recognize it if they get pulled out the class, it's for something because I need extra help. They just think they going to play a game. Because that's how, like, you want to come with me? We're going to play a little activity game?
Yeah, because I paid attention to it when I was in school, but at the point of given time, I wasn't able to do anything about it. But I was like, passing, I don't know what it's for, because like I said, I caught on to them when I was probably in 8th grade, because like I said, they weren't called interventions, they was called something else I can remember, but it somewhat,
Like
it helped me, but it handicapped you in a way, because sometimes you passing a child on who is not getting all the fundamentals of learning, and not getting everything they need, because as long as they showing growth, you just pass them. And that's how it kind of was when I was in school.
So we do want to show growth, but we also working towards a goal. So like here, our goal is if they get like 80%, and even like I go back and review with the teachers when I look at their data and I see that they showing growth. And if we get close to the 80%, I still add on 2 extra weeks sometimes. But so it goes in a cycle. So the students when they come, it's not like a permanent thing, because our plan is for them to go back to tier 1 with they getting everything in university learning. So they go 4 weeks. It's an 8-week cycle. They go 4 weeks. With their interventionist process. We look at it together. We look at the data, see we see the growth. If we're not, we discuss like what are the factors, because it could be that the lesson that the teacher's doing in the classroom they just not interested in. But sometimes students, have to be something they like to easy grasp on. And then we'll continue the cycle. At the 8th week, we come back and look at it. And if they showing growth, say if they like it real close to like 75, I say give me this work with them 2 extra weeks before I move them back to see when we got the 80. Once they reach their goal, sometimes we'll take them back to tier 1, but sometimes we'll go to another objective, like their next one, say we were letter recognition, we'll go to letter sounds for them in the 8 weeks of course.
So what assessments do you use to identify students who need intervention?
Okay, so one thing I told you that we base everything on data. We let data drive our decisions and everything we do. Some assessment use of this year, we have a new assessment given by the state called iStation. So I look at iStations, and iStation they go by levels. So on iStation they cover phonemic awareness, letter recognition, and comprehensive. So I look at that. Depending on what levels they fall in, level 1 or 2, I know the report let me know they're in a critical need for intervention. So not only I look at that, but we also give a test called Brigance. It's a developmental screener. So it goes over there.
It's some weird names. It's
a screener. So with the screener, it goes over. They have to be able to tell their name, like say their name, first and last name. They have to be able to recognize colors, recognize shape. It's also a physical component. Like, can they hop on 1 foot for 5 seconds? Can
what
they tiptoe?
What kind of test is that?
It's all the whole.
Is that it right there?
What?
The hop on 1 feet
no,
and hop on 2.
They
That what they hop
They have to hop. It's a line. The teacher's like, can you hop to me on 1 foot?
What is it gonna help the child do?
So you think about early childhood, we are in the main. So not only our brains like physical, cognitive, social, emotional. So we got the whole. Yeah, we the whole child. So if we go and it tells at the end, like based on how they score, if they where they need to be at, or they below, or they at risk. So I use their report. So if it's showing that they are at risk compared to their age level, then I know that I might need to focus in on that child to see, because it could be the child can have a learning disability, or it could just be some delays in development. I also use the teacher anecdotal notes, because one thing is we just can't rely on the test that we're given. This is why it's important that teachers observe their kids and know things, because they see more than some. Because some kids are good test takers. I have had some kids that didn't do so well on the test, but the teacher, me talking with the teacher going over there, I thought they know. Well, they said they just probably didn't have a good day when test came time, or they just not a good test taker, because some kids do get anxiety. And we have to think about it, the kids that we work with are 3 and 4-year-olds. And that's a lot to put on them as test takers. So I use anecdotal.
I just want to color.
I use anecdotal notes, and then I also look at the attendance, because they'll let me know if the child, like I said, if they here, then I know that they're getting what they need. But if they're not here, that's the issue, because if the child missed more than 2 days, they miss a whole lot of lessons. So that could be the reason why, they're not doing as well as they can, because they're not at school. So I use that to drive the decisions that, how we going to, the child going to go towards the intervention, if the child needs some more support, or do I need to keep my eye and watch on this child to see if progress is being made.
Okay, so that probably pick up on how do you track student progress and determine if interventionist is effective.
Okay, so one thing we use like a graph. So with the letters, it's 26 letters. So every 2 weeks, while they're on intervention, so they do interventions for 2 full weeks. That Friday on bi-weekly, they have to assess the students on their target. So they assess the students on uppercase and lowercase letters based off the percentage. So if they got 11 out of 26, they get the percentage to that, and then they'll write the percentage. You remember what I said I go? What's I go?
You talking about the percentage, or
what's I go to reach for them to master?
You're not talking about the tiers now, because like I said, it's a lot to remember what you said.
Remember our goal is 80%. 80% of everything. So they have to graph the percentage. So say if the child got 50%, they're gonna graph 50. They're gonna graph the percentage.
It's percentage, but so
we'll start off with a baseline.
So y'all have all the names and all the
each child have their own portfolio, so I can be able to look at the child data.
And do y'all have the percentage wrote down on the sheet, or do y'all have to write it down?
I can show you.
Because on top of that,
so this is the portfolio. Each of my tier students have a portfolio. So one thing will let me know if it's a teacher problem in the classroom is how many students, because no more than 5% of a class total should be on tier. If it's more than that, just let me know it's something else going on in tier 1 that I need to focus on tier 1 instruction, which is the university that is not getting.
Let me see one of these sheets.
So each student has a portfolio where we have to collect like basic information. So I get information from the parents, because sometimes getting that background knowledge on parents can help us see the whole picture of the child.
Right.
So some things they probably ask about birth, like what did you have a normal birth? What does the parent see as the weakness? And because some things we might not see, but the parent might not see. The weakness and strength of the child. What are their concerns about their child? I also have to conduct a hearing and vision on child.
So that's the part of what you do.
Yeah,
I wonder who job that was.
So I do the hearing and vision. So the state of Mississippi requires pre-K and kindergarten all to have a vision hearing done on them. So in the beginning, it has to be the first 40 days when school starts. So in the beginning, I do screenings on all the students. Because if it ever comes to a time where I have to take them to med, where I try to get additional service outside of in school.
Oh, yeah, I can take the children to go get that.
No, so what they do, I screen. So except the child failed the first time with I go back and screen 7 days later. If they failed again, I will send a referral home for them to take them to their eye doctor to get them screened. Because sometimes, you know, they could be the issue if the child can't hear or if the child can't see. That's probably why the child is scoring, you know, when they working with their teacher. They also have to do a profile, or we do a social emotion profile from the teacher point of view to see, like, what do the teacher notice. The teacher has to do a teacher narrative, so they give me the perspective from the teacher point of view. They have to tell, like, what their concerns are, their strengths, and then they tell us, like, if they think, you know, because some kids have speech problems, they'll let us know if they have speech. But this is the tracking. So how the teacher track, we progress every 2 weeks.
Now they called you now. I don't want you to get in trouble for this podcast. Okay. And like I said,
I can finish this. I'm finna show you they so they got the you keep up with the attendance.
And y'all have a color coded too, which is good.
Yeah, that's for me. So each one of them, when I do intervention, each student they have a plan, and it tells what the plan is, and it tells our goal, and then how long it's gonna take the cycle. Only material you use is development or appropriate that's aligned to the standards. So they assess every 2 weeks on the target skill, which is letters. So if you can see the graph, so we start with a baseline.
So the martyr percentage is at
the bottom. That's the dates.
Oh, the dates. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Our goal is 80%, but you can see that percentage here. So the baseline is when they first test and recognize the child need help with their letters, because the child only knew 7 letters out of 26. So they work with the child 2 weeks after that, and then after they work for 2 weeks, they progress. And then the child went from knowing 7 letters to 17. So they let me know it's working, you know, what they doing. If they do it with fidelity, it should, you know, work. So you can see that the child's showing growth right here.
So
every 2 weeks, they have to progress monitor them. So you see right here, the child went down a little bit and then stayed at a standstill.
You forgot a little?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes they may regress. And then you can see the last time I did it went right back up. So the child's close to their goal, 73%, but you know, we still got work that we need to be done. So that's just how we keep up with the progress. And then also, with the cards, we do with the state test. So in the beginning of the year, we got beginning, middle, and end. So we keep up with the beginning of the year, and we see do they change the levels at the end, in the middle of the year, to see if they're showing growth.
Right.
So our goal is for them to show growth, and we're using the data to drive. Because they'll tell me if they're not showing growth, that we need to do something different. We need to make some modifications. They might need extra time. They might need another way of doing it that's going to reach them.
So, real quick before I let you go, in the last 2 weeks, have all the children progress or
so
they increase or they decrease? I don't know the word y'all use.
They regress. Some have regressed, and some have shown a lot of growth, and some like steady. But they just let us know we still got more work to do. But you know, we look at some of the factors. Like I met with the teacher, see what could we do differently so that we can see more growth. Which brings me, this is why I've been pushing in. One of our goals is we're trying to reach our goals to 295. So some of the other elective teachers you see around here, like the music teacher and the PE teacher, they just don't do their electives, but they also push in and help those students that's low too, to help support. So
I hear coach name go around a lot. So what's the most rewarding job about being an interventionist?
So this is a new position for me. I guess me being able to gauge and see them smiling, and when they have the aha moments, like they got it, I did it, that makes me feel good. That light bulb going off, and then to see that growth is being made, so it makes me think I did, something, just even if it's a little growth. Maybe they might not have met the goal, but if they knew a couple more letters than they started off with, I'm fine with it.
I like the last part you said, you fine with it, because that progress means a lot to a teacher, because they let them know that they're doing a great job as well. So,
and to keep them pushing and keep them motivated,
Alicia White, there's nothing left to do but thank you for coming on the channel. Cause I know they called you, and I don't want them to have to call you again the second time. Meaning, hey, I'm coming for you. You're supposed to come down here, but I'm coming for you. And there y'all have it, the Interventionist for Van Winkle Elementary School. Y'all, hey, she's a good interventionist now. We ain't know nothing about interventionists now, and this the one to know.
And they on a pre-K intervention. Hopefully, see more interventions for pre-K in the future.
Now, this being posted now, we're gonna have to put that out there when I send it to you, and you send it out there too. And like I said, y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share. Keep it real, and keep listening.